Alright, so here we're going to have a short 6-minute review for our math test tomorrow on ratios. I'm not going to have the problems written out, so you're going to have to listen to hear and see our problems. Alright, so our first problem is this. If for every 3 flowers in a field, 2 of them are roses and 1 is a daisy, write a ratio 3 different ways. So here's my problem. If for every 3 flowers in the field, so 3 is my total, 2 of those flowers are roses and 1 is a daisy. So what is my ratio? Well, I can write several ratios. So I'm going to write my ratio of roses to daisies. And then the problem has to write that ratio 3 different ways. So that is one way. Here's another way. And here's my last way as a fraction. Okay, let's look at our next problem. If for every 3 boys in the class, there are 4 girls, what is an equivalent ratio? Well, equivalent ratios is whatever I do to the left, I do to the right. So if I'm going to multiply the left side by 2, I multiply the right side by 2. If I multiply the left side by 3, I multiply the right side by 3. So an equivalent ratio could be 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 3 is 12. So these are equivalent ratios. Okay, here's our next problem. Create a tape diagram to show the ratio 3 to 5. Well, how I create tape diagrams, I'm going to make a tape diagram of the first number, tape diagram of the second number. So my first number is 3, so it's split into 3 parts. My second one is 5, so I make a tape diagram that's slightly bigger. I make it into 5. Remember, each part should be about the same length. Each part should be the same length. Alright, here's my next problem. If for every 3 roses I buy 5 daisies, create a tape diagram. So I'm going to do the same thing. It's the exact same problem as before. Okay, now instead of just using a ratio, I'm going to add this part to my problem. If I bought 2 more roses than daisies, actually, I'm sorry, I'm going to change that. If I bought 6 more roses than daisies, how many daisies did I buy? Well, it's not 6 total roses, it's 6 more roses. So I need to look for my part that's my more than. Right here, these ones are equal. Something's equal, one's not bigger than the other. So my more than is going to be that extra part. Here I see an extra part right here. It's actually 1 part, 2 parts. This is my 6. This is that more than. So what I need to ask myself is this. 6 broken up into 2 parts is what? What part do I put this in here and in here that equals 6? What plus what equals 6? Well, I have 2 ways. I can just know that it's 3, or I can do 6 divided by my total number of parts. In this case, I have 2 parts. So 6 divided by 3, or 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now, since all my parts are equal, every part is going to be 3. So now I have enough information to answer my original question. If I bought 6 more roses than daisies, how many daisies did I buy? Well, I see I bought 3, 6, 9 daisies. So my answer is 9 daisies. Okay, here's my next problem. It's going to be the same thing. I have 3 roses for every 5 daisies. So I'm going to make that tape diagram. Now this part's a little different. If I bought 12 daisies, how many roses? Well, now it's not saying more than, it's saying my total is 12. So my total number of daisies is 12. So this whole tape diagram is 12. So I need to ask what plus what equals 12. So I can just know it's 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12. Or I can take my total, so it equals 12, and I'm breaking up into equal parts. When I make equal parts, I'm dividing. So I'm going to ask myself, how many parts do I have that I need to break up into groups? Well, I need to break up into 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups. So it's my total divided by the number of groups, which is 3. And that gives me that 4. Since my squares are all equal size, I know that they're all 4. So now I'm ready to figure it out. 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 is the same as 4 times 5, which is 20. So I have 20 roses. Okay, now for my very last problem. If a flower shop typically sells 3 roses for every 6 daisies, that's going to be a normal day. Well, we have a special holiday coming up called Valentine's. Now, on Valentine's Day, people really want their roses. So, on Valentine's, for every 8 roses they sell 1 daisy. We see these are equivalent ratios, but now we're selling more roses on Valentine's than normal. So what I'm going to do, I do this for every single problem. Write your ratios, make tape diagrams, and label them. So this is my normal roses. This is my normal daisies. And my daisies on a normal day is broken up into 6 parts. Okay, now I'm on my Valentine's roses, and I look up here and I see that's 8. So that's going to be my biggest tape diagram. And it's broken up into 8 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then those poor daisies on Valentine's, they only are sold for every 8 roses one time. Okay, so now listen to this part. If on a normal day I sell 21 roses, how many daisies would I sell on Valentine's? So on a normal day, I'm selling 21 roses. I want to know on Valentine's how many daisies. So what I'm going to do is I first look and see which tape diagram do I know this information about. So I'm looking at that number and thinking, which one of these 4 tape diagrams does it match? Well, I see roses, so I know it's going to be roses or roses. And I see it's on a normal day, so I know it's going to be on my normal. So it's going to be this tape diagram. So this whole tape diagram is 21. Now how many parts do I have? I have 3. So I'm going to break it up into 3. 21 divided by 3 is 7. Or I could just know 7 plus 7 plus 7 equals 21. Either way is okay. Now how big is this part? 7. How big is this part? 7. Since all of my boxes should have been the same length when I drew them, everything here is 7. So every single box is 7. Now it's going to be really easy. Do I have enough information for this answer? On Valentine's Day, so I'm looking at my Valentine's now. How many daisies? So Valentine and daisies, that's this right here. So my answer is 7 daisies are sold on Valentine's Day. Alright, good luck on your test tomorrow.